All right, hello and welcome. Today's date is 2/15/2020. So if you could go into the bottom right corner and enable the chat and go ahead and do your audio and video setup. Make sure that you have that uh, process all done with and make sure that your microphone is working. Go ahead and drag the attendees tab over to the left there and make sure that it's in its own separate area. And go ahead and make sure that you are in that chat room there and click everyone to make sure that you're in the right area. So we're going to go ahead and do a quick quality check. So remove any possible distractions, turn off your phone, shut your door, put up a do not disturb sign if you feel that might be necessary, and go ahead and take a deep breath and remove your head from problems not relating to this class. So virtually raise your hand if you are seeing the slides progress, if you can see the recording icon in the top left corner, and you can hear me adequately. Awesome. You guys can go ahead and put your hands down. Virtual students, make sure that you are filling out your missed class summary as you go through this. So our big idea is that a strong learning environment could be said to have a community of inquiry. And we're going to dive into what a community of inquiry is in just a moment. So for our learning objectives, you will need to be able to identify the characteristics of inquiry, and you should be able to identify the elements of a community of inquiry. So we're going to go ahead and do our icebreaker activity. So type in the text chat what you think of when you think about the word community and a positive aspect of a community that you are in. All right, Michelle says working together and interaction. Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that interaction is very important for a good community. And Lori says, I like the sharing aspect and the feeling of connectedness. I also agree with that. Yes, you have to be connected with a good group and sharing your information with each other. So Adam says support. My communities are very supportive. Yes, you should be able to help each other out when you need that. Okay, I think we all got the hang of that, so let's move on. So some characteristics of a community. Community will share interests and goals. It should be collaborating and communicating, and is generally defined by the identity of its members. We've already gone over community in some of our previous lessons, but we have to review that here for the idea of a community of inquiry. So for inquiry, inquiry means constructing meaning and confirming understanding, collaborative discourse and questioning, and transforming existing knowledge. It's that whole process of asking questions in a constructive manner. So you're thinking back on what you know, and you're saying, do I really know that? Was I making assumptions? And also learning new knowledge and building on you have, and then building on each other's knowledge in a community. So that's where we have a community of inquiry. A community of inquiry is a community that is focused on the process of inquiring. It is the combination of community and inquiry. So for the elements of a community of inquiry, we have that a community of inquiry has a teaching presence, cognitive presence, and social presence. So a social presence is the social aspect of community of inquiry. You have to be socially connected to each other. We've discussed that connection here earlier. You have to have a cognitive presence. You should be thinking and actively engaging with your community on a mental level and making sure that you are building on each other's knowledge and also questioning ideas. And then there also has to be a teaching presence. The teacher has to have an active role in this, mainly in how the machine of the classroom is operated and designed. So for our case study, go ahead and follow the link in the chat room to Google Slides. I'm about to assign your group and then answer the question on the slide corresponding with your group number. So I'm going to go ahead and post that link in the chat room now. There we go. There's the link. So you can go ahead and follow that to there. So once the group rooms are set up, enter the room with your group's number, then answer the question on the slide with your group. So I'm going to set up the chat rooms so you will all be able to go to those. And then once those are set up, also amongst yourselves, you should be deciding who's writing down what and who presents at the end of it. So I'm going to go ahead and set up those chat rooms now. And you guys will be under group 1. So go to group 1 and also go to the slide label group 1. All right, here we are all set up. So go to group now. And that'll be that little icon next to group 1 where it's the arrow and the box. And I am remaining in this chat room so that it does not close down. All right. Well, we're still waiting for Adam to reconnect. There we are. So, looks like you guys have finished up here. So, group one, go ahead and give your answer. Oh, and virtual students, you will need to complete this and answer this in your missed class summary. So, Lori, go ahead.
I cannot.
Oh, goodness. All right. So, who else would like to present?
I can.
Oh.
So one of the things that we kind of felt like was missing was that there was seemed to be like a lack of interaction between the students, like that they're just giving their opinions instead of interacting, like having a collaborative discourse. It's just like people are sharing their opinions, and the teacher kind of is moving on after that happens. Like there isn't a lot of like connection between what the teacher is doing and what the students are doing in class. I think does that hit it?
Yeah,
What we
no,
were saying?
that pretty much gets it. There's also, I would argue, a lack of true cognitive presence, mainly because they are giving their opinions, but they're not really being uh, challenged and working towards a true goal, other than just simply having the conversation. But yeah, I think you guys pretty much nailed that, especially. The main core element was that the teaching presence really was not there. All right, so back to the slides. So in conclusion here, so similar to like technology in the classroom, how technology has to be purposeful and designed with the end goal of educating in mind, and that being that it has to promote community. The course itself and the way that you design your course must also be designed in order to foster a community of inquiry, which should have, your presence, obviously, and also cognitive presence and social presence. All right, we are all done here. So go ahead and, well, this is tradition now, so go ahead and use your pointer to touch whatever you want to touch on this animal's head here. All right, guys. Well, thank you for being here for this class. Does anyone have any questions? All right, then I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.